Hello, hello, hello. Please make sure you are on video. Very important. I want to see your faces. And I want to also ask you questions. And I want to the extent possible, I want to see your expressions. This is very important. So, welcome to a very short session on critical thinking. Firstly, all of you, can you go to chat and just put down your idea? And please don't Google. That's a total waste of time. What do you think personally? What do you understand by the term critical thinking? I want to understand your thinking. So if you Google it, you're cheating yourself. So please just, I don't care if you're wrong. Very important. This is not a test. I want to know how you understand it. Please send messages on chat. What do you understand by the term critical thinking? Your first thought. It is not an essay. It is not a test. And the sooner you do it, the better the class will be, because otherwise we will waste all our time just waiting for you to put messages on chat. Okay. So let's not waste our time. Thank you. I'm seeing some of you respond, the ability to analyze, ability to evaluate certain information, analysis. Very good. Keep going. Keep going. Reflecting on what we have done and find out what worked well and what did not, and to take lessons from this experience. Very good. To analyze how we perceive an analysis, focus, thinking differently. Very good. Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to ask you another question now. Uh, Renju says, thinking all the sides, both positive and negative consequences. Again, your responses are all very good. My next question to all of you: when do you know you are thinking well? And when do you know that you are not thinking well? How do you distinguish in your own mind? I'm not talking of anyone else. How do you know if you are thinking well? How do you know when you are not thinking well? On chat. Take it one at a time. First question: when do I know I'm thinking well? Second question: when do I know I'm not thinking well? Keep going. Grishma has said when she has a clear mind, but think more. When you look at your own mind, how do you know you're thinking well? Musharraf says when meeting with reality is very interesting. When we are able to take criticism, very interesting. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Lydia says, when I have lot of questions, very interesting. When helps to identify effective and efficient solutions. I think while things happen properly, I think better way. When seeing other people in bad situation, going in depth about something, when we don't have an answer, very interesting. When I can distinguish my thoughts properly. Okay, now let us look at the opposite. When do you know you are not thinking well? When do you know you are thinking badly? Opposite. Okay, Fatimat, keep going. All of you, you know in your mind, you really know when you are thinking badly. You may not realize it, but you know it. When is that? When things are happening in a wrong way, okay. Struggle to make a choice, interesting. Mhm. Too many thoughts at the same time. Keep going. When do you know you're thinking badly? When I can't think of a solution, I'm guilt driven or pressurized. Okay. Okay. I'm not talking of when you're thinking well, Renji. I'm thinking of, I'm asking you when you're thinking badly. When you're thinking badly. Okay. Sounds like we've gotten most of the responses. So let me try to answer in the simplest possible way. And I want your questions after this. Pay attention because I'm not telling you things for you to write down and memorize. I'm not going to give you the right answers. I'm going to give you two ideas about thinking well and thinking badly. And your job is to ask me questions about my answers. So let's start with thinking badly. You are thinking badly when you have too many emotions and feelings and whether it's guilt or anger or hatred. Even if you are in love, you're thinking badly. When there are too many emotions flooding your mind, you are incapable of thinking. Now, I want your questions on that. You can even challenge me, but Ashok, that's not true. But I want you to respond to my primary idea, which is where I'm going to put it here. When you are flooded with emotions and feelings, whether it's love, anger, disappointment, uh, ambition, uh, um, hatred, you cannot think well. So now I want your questions. Please put your questions or your thoughts. You can say, Ashok, this is nonsense. But I want you to respond honestly about what I just put down here. Put your comments on chat, and no response is wrong. This is the process of learning. And if you agree with me, then you have to tell me why you agree. You can't just say, Ashok, I agree. Very good, Ranju. I will respond to it after I hear from everyone else. Your thoughts about what I have said. And I want every one of you to put your thoughts there. Good, Nikhil, keep going. Your questions, your reactions. Okay, Musharraf, keep going. Keep going. And you can have more than one reaction. I should get 12 reactions because there are 12 of you. Sorry, including me. No, that's we have 11 of you. Thank you. I do Fida. I think it's Fida. Uh, good, good. Thank you, Lydia. Very good question, Abid. Sometimes in anger, we take the right decision. Interesting, interesting. Very good question, Renju. How do I know whether I'm overthinking or just analyzing? Excellent question, Fatimat. Sometimes my ambition drives me blindly, but the end result is good. Great question. Who's left? And all of you try to be completely focused here. Don't be distracted by anyone else in the room. Don't step out for anything. This is a very different kind of course. Can emotions help me think more clearly or make better decisions? Great questions. Who's left? Anyone? If you're still left, you're still trying to do something, put your hand up so I can see. Otherwise, we are wasting time. Is there anyone who still has to respond? Is our negative thinking a result of our perspective? Good question. Okay, let's get started. Firstly, thank you very much for your candid responses. I would strongly urge you to ask anyone else in the household to please leave you alone for the next 70 minutes. It's very important that you are able to focus, because if you don't focus, you won't get anything out of this. This is not like a class in college or high school, okay? Because you have to think with me. What I have been doing right now is I have been forcing you or inviting you to think about your thinking. I'm not asking your opinion about the government, about justice, about the new Indian cricket captain. I'm not asking you questions or your opinions about anything. I'm asking you questions to make you aware of your own thinking process, which is the first step towards critical thinking. I say first step, but this is our second lesson. The first lesson was a couple of days ago when most of you were not there, or you were not on video, or you were driving or whatever, and I cancelled it. I cancelled it, and that was the first lesson, which means you cannot think if you are distracted. You cannot think if you are distracted. You have to be 100% there. Let me ask you another question. What happens if you are not 100% there when you're thinking? Again, go to the chat. What happens in your mind if you're trying to think about, say, solving a problem, or somebody asks you, how is the Modi government doing? Or whatever question, and you're not 100% there, what happens? You will not be able to find the right or suitable answer. We can't take proper actions. Keep going, keep going, dig deeper. You miss out on relevant things. Why? Why do you miss out on relevant things? Why can you not take proper actions if you're not 100% there? Why do you have more distress? Dig deeper. We will not be focused. What prevents focusing? Dig deeper. What happens when you're not 100% there? Yes, distractions. Why do those distractions come? You can be reactive, yes. Why does it happen? Because there are multiple distracting thoughts. Okay, what else? You're not fully committed to something. Very good. What else? What happens when you're not 100% thinking? We can't control our mind. Okay. Let me give you an example. Do all of you drive, whether it's two-wheeler or four-wheeler? Just put up your hand if you drive. Anything, a bicycle, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, everything. Do you drive? I want to see how many of you drive. Keep your hand up so I can see. Very good. Almost all of you drive. Very good. Now, I don't have to tell you about Indian roads. I don't have to tell you about Bangalore roads. What are the things that happen on a Bangalore road when you're driving? Just put down on chat. What are the things that are happening around you when you are trying to drive your scooter or the blocks? What else? Put down everything. The honking all the time. Keep going. Keep attention to plenty of things. What else? People fighting, yes. Overtaking, no indicators, sudden brake. This is great. Keep adding. There are 1,000 more things that happen. Breaking the rules, yes. Bad road, potholes. What else? Police checking, signals, yes. What else? Spitting on the road, yes. Sometimes the spit comes on you. Speed breakers, what else? If you're in a car, what happens inside the car? Or if you're in an auto and the auto driver is driving you, what happens inside the auto? Phone calls. Very good. What else? Music, text messages, your friends talking to you, friends arguing. Why are you going on this road? It's you will get into a traffic jam. I told you to take the other road. There is chaos. When you drive, and there's Google Map on top of everything else, which changes direction suddenly. Your mind is like the Indian traffic situation on acid, 10 times more chaotic than the Indian traffic. And the Indian traffic situation is one of the most chaotic anywhere in the world. I've driven in places like Athens, Greece, in Cairo, in Egypt, and those are terrible traffic. But Indian traffic takes the cake. Now, if you are trying to get from A to B, whether it's in your bicycle or in your car, even if it's the most expensive SUV, you are trying to drive, how can you ensure you don't get into an accident? How can you ensure that? Put down your answer. Total 100% focus and attention. 100%. Most of us don't. We laugh, we talk with our friends, and we are somehow figuring things out. That is also why Indian traffic is so bad, because most drivers are not paying 100% attention. They are not concentrating. They are not being responsible drivers. Now, let's come back to thinking. Your mind is exactly the way the worst traffic situation is. Not a traffic jam when everything stops, but you are able to move and everything. On top of it, there's a rickshaw, there's a cow, there's a dog, there are pedestrians coming in the middle. There's all kinds of chaos. Your mind is just like that. And that is the normal state of the mind. See, at least when traffic is concerned, now I live in Washington, D.C. in US. Sometimes the traffic can be bad, but mostly the traffic is very well controlled. It is not like Indian traffic at all. But the mind of even the American is like the Indian traffic. All human mind is like Indian traffic, utterly chaotic, utterly chaotic. So I'm going to give you a little exercise right now. Write down, and this is a difficult exercise, so I want you to think before you do it. You see, I'll give you an example first, and then I will give you the exercise. If you walk into a new room, you look at the colors on the wall, you look at the furniture, you look at who is in the room, you look at whether it's the room, the kind of floor it has. Does it have a carpet? Does it have a stone floor, red oxide floor, or does it have a wooden floor? You look at all the things that are there in the room. If your friend is there, you notice your friend, you say hello. But when you come into a room, a new room, you see everything. When you come into your own bedroom, you don't see anything because you know what is in your bedroom. So I want you to remember that we notice a room only when it is new. I walk from right now I'm in my study. When I walk to my living room or bedroom or bathroom or kitchen, I don't notice anything because I think I know where everything is. Now, I want you to think of your mind like a room, a new room, a room you have not gone to before. And I want you to try to notice the furniture in your mind. I want you to try to notice the colors of the walls. I want you to try to notice the people who are there. I want you to try to notice whatever is happening. What are the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, the ideas, the history? Are you thinking of a grandparent who died 10 years ago? Uh, I want you to try to describe the contents of your mind. Do you understand what I'm trying to ask you? If you can understand, just raise your hand. If you can't understand, actually, let me change it. If you cannot understand, raise your hand and I will explain it again. If you cannot understand, if you don't raise your hand, I will presume you understood completely. I don't mind if you don't understand at all. Please raise your hand. Very good. Even if one person doesn't understand, I will try to explain it again. The example I'm giving you is when you walk into a new room or a new house, you notice everything because it's a new space. You see whether it's a big room or a small room. You look at the function of the room. Is it a kitchen or a bedroom or a bathroom or a drawing room? And then you notice the furniture and the colors and everything. Now I'm using the room as a metaphor, as an example of the mind. Instead of the room, now think of your mind. If you are outside yourself and you're looking at your mind, what do you see? What are the thoughts that are occupying your mind? What are the feelings that are occupying your mind? What are the memories that are occupying your mind? What are the uh, uh, questions that are occupying your mind? Now, I want you to don't worry about getting it wrong. I want you to, on chat, start answering this question. And through your answers, I will show you how to answer this correctly. So even your wrong answers will help us do this exercise. So please go on chat. Everyone, please put down what you are observing in your mind. Don't make judgments. Don't say, I am not happy with my thoughts. That is not what I'm asking. I am asking you, what do you see happening in your mind? Go ahead. Go ahead. Put down, there will be many things. Put down all the things you see in your mind. Remember, there are no wrong answers. Very good. Scattered thoughts, some organized, some messy. Now, I want you to spell it out. What are the organized thoughts, Fida? What are the messy thoughts? Put it out. If you see a plain white wall, good. But other than the plain white wall, there are other things in your mind. What are those? Now, you are, Abid, you are talking about a judgment. I should clean up because it is taking space. No problem. But that is not what I'm asking. What are the things that are there that you think should be cleaned up? I'm asking you to notice the specific things to do tomorrow. Fatima, I'm asking you, what are those things? And what happened yesterday? Put down what happened yesterday. I want you to really uncover the things that exist in your mind. You made a good start. I'm just asking you to be more precise now. Feeling very good, Renju. You're feeling pain in your eyes. That is a thought, a specific thought. You're trying to find your phone. Very good, very specific thought. Now I want you to just put it down. What else? These two, Renju and Nikhil, have started looking at the specifics. Thank you, Atulya. Why is it so hot? Musharraf, very natural. I'm trying to answer the question, but I am struggling. uh, Asanya says, literally blank mind. Uh, there are no blank minds. At this point in time, you don't know what is in your mind. The questionnaire I drafted today, I have too many things like work tasks, family responsibilities, trying to think about answering this question. Good, good. So now I'm going to ask you a different question. The question is, what are some questions you have? Grishma, thank you. About my future, very important. But now I'm going to ask you to ask me questions about my question. Ask me questions because this is not an easy exercise. So ask me, Ashok, how do you do this? Or what do you do? Why did you ask me this question? I want you to ask me questions. And I'll also give you a clue. The most important skill or tool you have for critical thinking is asking questions. Your answers are irrelevant. You can study it, you can mug it. Somebody can tell you what the answer is and you can bring it out. Your answers don't show you are thinking. Your questions will tell the world whether you are thinking well or not. So I want you to practice asking me questions about anything that has happened in the last 40 minutes. Thank you, Fatima. Let's start. Okay, great. I will look at your questions one by one and I will respond to it. Why do you ask these questions to us? Very good. How would you look at your mind as a new room? How will you put out your thoughts? Good. Keep going. Keep going. Asking a question is much. It's harder to ask an intelligent question than to answer. Anyone can answer. That's called having an opinion. Everybody has opinions. So what? How to be focused all the time. Very good. But to ask a good question requires thinking. Are we, very good question. Are we always responsible for what clouds are? Oh, great question. Keep going. Excellent question, Renju. Every time I look at my mind, I'm judging my thoughts. Great question. Keep going. Okay. Do you think there are good decisions and bad decisions? Very good. Keep going. Great philosophic question, Fida. What does silence sound like inside your mind? Is it peaceful or uncomfortable? Great. And you can have multiple questions. This is the most important part of this course, your capacity to ask questions. Keep going. You must have, each one of you must have 100 questions. I'm still waiting for some people. Why do we keep creating imaginary space? Why do we need to imagine what's inside an unknown room? Hmm. Can our mind be controlled all the time? Is it possible? Excellent. Why did you want us to dig deep and be specific? Very good. 1 more minute. Any other questions? Okay, let's start. I'll take these questions one by one. And if I miss out on your questions for some reason, please remind me. Okay, I'll start with Lydia's. Uh, oh, no, no, no. Sorry, not Lydia. That was not a question. Ah, Renju and Parvati. Why is it hard to categorize my thoughts? It feels like everything is mixed up together. Wonderful, wonderful observation. See, when you walk into a room, the furniture is not, the chair is not mixed up with the table, which is not mixed up with the wall, which is not mixed up with the people. That would be almost like a crazy abstract painting, like a Picasso painting, where everything is entangled. In a room, in a physical room, or in nature, even in traffic, the crazy Indian traffic. A auto rickshaw is an auto rickshaw. And unless there's an accident, the auto rickshaw is not mingled with the pedestrian or the bus, right? In the physical world, everything has a specific shape and it's easy to distinguish. The mind is different. In the mind, even if, let's just take five things as an example, your future. This fellowship finishes in 1 month or 2 months. I have applied to two companies or NGOs. I don't. My father is asking me to do X. My friends are asking me to do Y. I want to do Z or Z. You have thoughts of your future. That itself is a combination of multiple things. Then you also have this strange fellow Ashok asking you questions. That is coming into the mind. Then you have the thought that, oh my God, because Ashok insisted on us being on video, I have not even had dinner and my food is getting cold. Third thing, fourth thing, you are thinking about a very bad commute you had in the morning to your work. You got very irritated with the auto driver. Like this, there are hundreds of thoughts in your mind. And each thought is not like the auto rickshaw or the bus or the pavement or the individual pedestrian on a road. Because these are not things, they are ideas and they are feelings. They are meshing with each other. They are completely coming in and going out, coming in and going out. This is why it is very difficult to categorize. Let's just take one basic categorization. What is a thought and what is a feeling? Basic. It is difficult to separate it in your mind. Whereas on the Banargata road, you can distinguish between a machine and a human being. Machines are buses, cars, auto rickshaws, bicycles, whatever. Then there are human beings. There's no confusion which is which. But in your mind, your thoughts and feelings all are interwoven and they are not static. At one point, one idea comes closer and occupies your whole mind. Then suddenly one thing moves, another thing disappears. Then suddenly it turns out another way. Different parts come up. And this is what happens in your mind. It makes categorizing very difficult. Does that make sense? I want you to ask me questions about what I just told you right now. Ask me questions or give me your thoughts. Any questions? If you have questions, raise your hand. There's someone responded. What do I do to distinguish them as they are in actual? Very good. So, first, before we do this, we need to define what is a thought and what is a feeling. So, that's my next question. Can you please put down what you think the difference is between thoughts and feelings? Please put it down. Okay, that's a good way to start, Nikhil. Others, all of you, how do you understand the difference between thoughts and feelings? Okay, keep going, keep going. Thoughts can be driven from feelings. Very good. Keep going, keep going. Pradeep, very good. Thoughts are ideas. Okay, keep going. Feelings are linked to emotions, and thoughts are a mental process of the brain. Very good, Lydia. Keep going. Okay, I think we have enough, and some of you have identified it. It's very important for us. Thank you, Abid. It's very important for us to distinguish this. Feelings are the way in which we respond to the world around us. If someone does something good, if you win the lottery, you have feelings. If someone criticizes you, you have feelings about it. You wake up in the morning and you have a headache, you have a feeling about it. Emotions are linked with feelings, but emotions are the response of the body to the world around it. Feelings are the response of the mind to what is happening. So, feelings can be positive or negative. You can feel hopeful, you can feel depressed, you can feel happy, you can feel sad, you can feel excited, you can feel disappointed, you can feel distressed, you can feel enthusiastic. These are feelings. It is how you respond to the world naturally. This is the important thing. Emotions come from the body, feelings come from your mind. Both are natural responses. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. A thought is a product of your thinking process. A thought is product of your thinking process. I want you to put down now, respond to this. Give me an example of a thought that comes out of your thinking process. Give me an example. Put it down. Right. Lydia, great question, but that's not what I asked right now. I'll come back to that later. Okay, great question. But right now, I'm asking all of you to put down an example of a thought that has come out of a thinking process. I don't understand, Abid. I need more than a one word statement. You're right, human mind is complicated. My question is give an example of a thought that has come out of your thinking process. I will give you one as an example. Okay. So, when I am teaching this course and I'm going into something that is abstract, my thinking process is how do I teach something which is very unusual compared to other subjects? How do I teach that to Mercy Mission Fellows? That is my thinking process. How am I going to do this? And my one thought that comes is I will ask them questions to force them to develop the skill of asking questions. So, my thought, which is a product, is to ask you questions. My thinking process is the problem I'm trying to solve, which is how do I teach mercy mission thinking, critical thinking. So now I want you to give an example from your own mind of a thinking process you have. Maybe you went through it 2 days ago, 5 years ago, but a thinking process you went through out of which emerged a thought. I'm trying to distinguish between thinking process and thought. Try. I know you can do it. It's not easy because I'm not asking you who's the Prime Minister of India or what really happened in the India Pakistan war. I'm not asking you for information or your opinion. That's a great start, Fatimat. I'm traveling the thoughts or the probability of an accident comes to my mind. Okay, that's a good start. All of you, what is the thinking process you're going through out of which a thought comes? Just to give you another example, I go to the market, I buy chicken, I buy tomatoes, onions, garlic, coriander, and I am going to cook. What am I going to cook? What am I going to cook? I could end up cooking a biryani or a chicken curry. The chicken curry or the biryani is the product, but the thinking process is my going to do the shopping, getting all the ingredients, cutting it, putting it together. That's the process. So now I see some of you have responded. Let me take a look at what you have responded. So when my father came late after work, I always think something bad. Excellent. I would say, as my father is being delayed, my thinking process is what is happening. And then the product of that, the thought is, oh my God, something bad must have happened to him. Okay. Good. Then there is Grishma, sorry, Nikhil, is it like a habit? For example, if we keep thinking negative, then our mind will find everything. That's a good way of interpreting what I said, Nikhil. But my question was a little more specific. I wanted to understand thinking process out of which a thinking product comes. But you're right about that. When I'm sharing an idea, I might think about opposite responses. The way we plan things, I have a number of tasks to complete. So after giving it a thought, I arrange them so that everything can be very good, very good. So Renju and Parvati, they are going through a process of thinking. Because they have many things to think about, many tasks. And coming out of that, they decide, I'm going to have dinner. And after the dinner, then I will continue with the tasks. That's like a decision they have made. Sometimes a thought is a decision. Now, let's go to the next question. Uh, I'm trying to find it. Uh, so, Lydia's question. Don't you think even thoughts can be positive or negative, which come because of your emotions? So, here's the thing, Lydia. Feelings are basically positive or negative ways in which we experience the world. Now, negative or positive in terms of thoughts depends on what we want. Give you an example. If you have the thought of if you win a lottery, winning a lottery is a thought. Is it positive or negative? Is winning a lottery, the thought of winning a lottery, is it positive or negative? Anyone? You can unmute and just say, let's make it easy. Is winning a lottery, the thought of winning a lottery, is it a positive or a negative? Anyone? Okay, text message positive. Is there anyone who thinks it is negative? Okay, Fatima, great. Why? Why do you think it is negative, Fatima? Too stressful. Very good. So here's the thing. I just want to give this as an example. Studies have shown that people who have won lotteries within 5 to 15 years, their lives have been destroyed. Their family life has been destroyed. When you get too much money, too fast, Fatimat is right. It becomes so stressful. Everybody comes to you expecting money from you. Your family fights with each other and life gets destroyed. And this is not, I'm not saying everybody, this happens to everybody in the same way. But just to give an example, whether thoughts are negative or positive depends on a lot of things. Okay. So the important thing about thoughts is that it doesn't matter whether a thought is positive or negative. The important thing is whether a thought is real. See, feelings are your response to things. If I, if someone criticizes me, and I get upset and angry, that doesn't mean the criticism is bad. The person may be criticizing me in order to give me positive, good feedback, but my feelings don't care about the feedback. My feelings care about how I feel. So But thoughts are uh, neither good nor bad. A good thought, hear my words very carefully, a good thought corresponds to reality. In other words, it tells us something about the world as it is. So, there are more questions. I want to come back to the questions. Huh. Uh, Great questions here. Do you think there are good decisions and bad decisions? Of course. What critical thinking can help you with is to help you make good decisions. The problem with good decisions is we mistake good decisions for decisions that make us feel good. Sometimes, almost all the time, we make decisions because we like someone. Or let's just say you are working in a company, in an organization, and suddenly your boss resigns and they desperately want to replace him, and they ask you to become the boss. You have been in this company only for 1 year, and it's a great opportunity. You take that. Why do you take the promotion? Because it was offered, but also because you feel good. Now I am manager. I get more money. This is wonderful. And within 6 months, you fail, you flop in that job because you don't have the experience to do it. So your deciding to take the promotion was a bad decision because you're not ready. But why did you take it? Because you wanted to feel good about the promotion. So a good decision is not a decision that you like, that you feel good about. Because feeling good about a decision is an emotion, it's a feeling. A good decision is something that corresponds to reality. In other words, if I take up a promotion which is offered to me, it is a good decision if I already have the skills, I already have the experience, and I'm mature enough to manage a bigger team. If I can do all of that, then I'm making a good decision. Does that make sense? Put up your hand if you understand what I'm saying. Very important. All you please respond. Otherwise, I don't get feedback. This is very important. A, a bad decision, sorry, a good decision has nothing to do with your feelings. Let's go to the next one. Why is it too difficult to be an observer without judging your thoughts? Every time I try to observe what's happening in my mind, I start judging the thoughts. Fantastic question. It's fantastic because this is the nature of our mind. You see, uh, I think it is a Chinese philosopher who said the human mind is like a monkey. It's not like a cow. A cow just lies around eating grass, does nothing else, provides milk. But the monkey, you can't control it. It's all over the place, it's jumping around. It does all kinds of things. The human mind is like a monkey, not a cow. And if your mind becomes like a cow, you do not know how to think. You do not know how to be creative. But the problem with the monkey mind is it is impossible to control. not impossible. It requires enormous amount of discipline to control. So let me give you, just put up your hands. How many of you, as little children, tried to play football or cricket? As little children, put up your hand. How many of you tried to play? I'm talking at the age of 5, 7, 10. Good. Now, when you try to play, when you're 5 years old, you do whatever you feel like doing. I want to bat. I'm out. I still want to bat. Or I don't want to stand where the captain tells me to stand. Uh, Little children do not understand the rules, and therefore the game becomes chaotic. This is why the captain or the coach or a parent tells, look, Ravi or Masroor or whatever, this is, you do not just take the ball and run away. It's Ashraf's turn to bowl. You have to stand in a particular way and you have to hit it. And if you're caught, your turn is over. You have to move. And the next batsman has to come. In other words, little children are like monkeys. They do whatever they want. Adults teach them the rules of the game. And it takes enormous discipline and focus for little children to learn how to play the game. The same is true in a classroom. Left to themselves, children will be throwing things at each other, they'll be shouting, they'll be bullying each other, they will be jumping around. A teacher has to teach the child, the whole class, how to conduct themselves in a classroom. Then they have to teach the children how to pay attention to the biology class or the Hindi class. It's full-time job trying to control the students, 5 years, 10 years, 13 year students, full-time job. You are the teacher of your own mind. Your mind is like a class of 5-year-olds, totally chaotic. You are the adult. If you allow your mind to do whatever it wants, you are no longer an adult. You have allowed the monkeys to take over your mind. This is why critical thinking starts with your controlling your mind. Now, there are many ways to control the mind. Because we are running out of time, I'm just going to give you 4 to 5 key tips. Just because I give you these suggestions or tips, it doesn't mean you'll be able to control your mind. You will need years of practice. Years of practice. I'll be very clear with you. But you can start right now. And you must all be in your 20s. That's very young. If by the time you're 40, you have a completely powerful, extremely successful. So here's tip number one. Tip number one is you have to figure out the difference between your feelings, emotions on one side and your thoughts on the other side. Separate them. Very difficult. But whenever something happens in your mind, you are in a traffic jam, or somebody says something, or you read a book or watch a movie and something comes up in your mind, ask yourself, is that a feeling Or is that a thought? Start the practice of distinguishing feelings and emotions on one side from thoughts and ideas and concepts on the other side. Now, when I say thought, thought is a very complex thing. When I teach critical thinking, I teach it over 3 months, long sessions, because there's a lot to learn. But we have to understand thoughts, ideas, concepts. Now, some of you use the word analysis. Very important word. Analysis is what your mind does in order to pull apart an idea, in order to understand it better. So, the recent India-Pakistan war, you read about it, you read about the Rafale, you read about the strikes in Pakistan, our drones and our aircraft, uh, I mean, striking terrorist headquarters. You heard about all this. How do you analyze it? If you merely believe whatever you read or you watch on television, you are not analyzing it at all. You are merely receiving that information. And if you believe it, whether you believe NDTV or Indian Express or whatever, doesn't matter what, you are merely doing what cows do, which means there is the grass, you are grazing, you just accept it passively. If you're pro Modi, you believe whatever the government says. If you are pro Congress, you disbelieve the government. That is not analysis, that is not critical thinking at all. Because everybody has opinions. And an opinion has nothing to do with thinking. If you really want to understand what happened in that short war, you have to first collect conflicting information. Somebody mentioned this. You have to collect information from different sources, both pro-government and pro opposition. Maybe you have to go beyond that and get information from defense analysts and strategists and think tanks. Maybe you have to listen beyond India and Pakistan and look at information coming from US or Germany on this issue. Then you have to collate all this information. And this is where your thinking happens. You have to try to decide what information is more likely to be true and what information is less likely to be true. Not because you trust anyone. Here's the thing about critical thinking. You don't trust anyone. You don't trust any source. Even if you are a big fan of Shashi Tharoor or Amit Shah, it doesn't matter. You are skeptical. Whatever they say, you try to balance it with information that comes from more objective sources. And then again, you were not there in the fight, so you cannot know what happened, really. But this is what critical thinking helps you do. It helps you understand the landscape. Remember the pieces in the mind? It helps you understand the landscape. And then it asks, why is that color red? Why is the chair in that place? Where is this information coming from? Is there enough evidence? Is it logical? Can we say we never lost anything? We destroyed Karachi naval base. Is there evidence to show for that? When Pakistan says we drowned 5 Rafales, is there evidence for that? Does it make sense? That process is your mind engaging in critical thinking. You are all capable of critical thinking. The problem is most people never think critically in their lives. Can anyone tell me why most people do not think critically in their whole lives? Can anyone tell me? You can speak out or you can write on chat. Thank
Actually,
you.
it takes a Yes. Okay, so it takes a lot of effort to think things critically, and in most of the times, people like don't even take the effort to think even if it is a thing related to the nation or the thing some social issues, anything. So they don't like think through it unless it is affecting them.
Absolutely. Thank you. And uh, takes too much effort. And this is a huge problem. It's a problem because when you don't take the effort, when it's easier not to think critically, we tend to follow the crowd. And who is this crowd? When we are children, we believe everything our parents tell us. When we get older, we believe everything that our friends tell us. When we get even older, we believe everything that our political heroes tell us. If I trust the Gandhi family, I believe whatever they say. If I trust BJP and RSS, I trust everything they say. Okay? If I'm, it doesn't matter who I trust. If I trust person or a source more than my own thinking capabilities, I am most likely going to be wrong. And worst of all, I am going to be a puppet, a slave to whoever. Same is true of religion. If I'm a fundamentalist Christian or Hindu or Muslim, and I believe everything in my book, everything that my gods or prophets said is right, I'm a puppet. I'm a slave. I may think I am a good human being. You may be a good human being, but you are not a thinking human being. Okay, now I want each one of you to speak. Don't chat. Speak and tell us what you are taking away from today's session. What are you taking away from today's session? One by one. I'm going to just say the name because otherwise you'll be waiting for someone else to talk. I'll go from my screen. Grishma, Sebastian, please share with the group very briefly, honestly, completely honestly. What are you taking away from this session?
Hi, sir. Hello.
Yeah, go on, Grishma.
Yeah, one thing will be like uh, how to process our thoughts and how to less think less. And another thing will be uh, mm, you said one example like there are if we are in a new room, we'll observe all the things which are whether there is a table or the color of the wall and everything, but we never look into ours. So I have to think and critically evaluate my things and my mind. So I will take that from this session, and it is very helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Grishma. And your last point is the most important. Do not treat your mind like a room that you know very well, because your mind is changing all the time. So every time you look at your mind is different. So it is important for you to observe your mind. Prateep, you're next.
Hi, sir. Good evening. One thing that I can share, not all thoughts are like facts. I can question them and look for evidence. Evidence. Yeah.
So, in other words, do not look at thoughts as good or bad. Look at them at whether they are real or not real.
Not
And
real.
for that, you have to question them and look for evidence.
Yeah.
Uh, Asnia, if I'm saying your name right.
Hi, sir. So one thing I wanted to just take away from the session is like always we think from the positive side. I think even thinking from the negative side is also it can lead to a best decision. So thinking from the
Very
both the
important. Very
thank
important. Don't worry about whether it's positive or negative. Look at whether it is real. Is it the truth? It is like, let us just say, God forbid anything like this happens, but someone you love has cancer. And it is natural for us to try to think positively. But if it is fourth stage cancer, it is important to think negatively. Only if you think negatively will you prepare yourself for what is going to come. Whereas if you continue to think positively, you will be devastated when the person dies. So, positive or negative is not the matter. It is whether it is true, real. Fatimat.
When you ask us to describe about the thoughts, difference between the thoughts and emotions, I want to know that mostly we entangle both these together, and it is important for us to draw a line between our thoughts and emotions. That would be the one takeaway I got from your session.
Very important takeaway. When you entangle, you are getting busy belle bath. You're getting khichdi. Total mess. Your job is to separate the rice from the masalas, from the onions, from the garlic. Only then you can understand it. Lydia.
I think a lot of things that I've noted down, but two very important is I think sometimes you need to allow your mind to criticize things because it takes an effort. Very easy to be on a surface level thinking, but it's not very difficult to go deep. And I think thinking, having thoughts takes effort. So I think criticize and putting in the effort to be able to think deep.
Absolutely. And it takes practice. And every day, give yourself 5 to 10 minutes when you are alone to observe your mind. People talk of meditation. If you can meditate, good, but meditation is not the same thing. Meditation is good, but I'm not talking of meditation. I am talking of observing your mind very clearly. Okay? Uh, Renju and Parvati, go one at a time.
Hi, sir. I'm Renju. So one takeaway for me is that one question I had during the session was how can we observe our mind, like as a as a completely different person. Like we often, when we look at our mind, we often like confuse ourselves with like, okay, I am thinking that I am this, I am that, I am sad, I am confused, and all those things. I had one session of like somebody taught me how to meditate and all. So at that time, one thing he told me was, you need to sometimes you need to differentiate yourself from your mind. So stop addressing it like I am thinking, I am thinking, I am that, I am this. My mind is telling this. My mind is thinking that. My mind. So address it as somebody else. So I was that was one part I really struggled with. Like he used to tell me, now close your eyes and observe what your mind is thinking. So I was really confused. Okay, how am I supposed to distinguish between what my mind is thinking? When I am like thinking what my mind is thinking, I am thinking it. No. So how is it different? How is it different? So like you said, we need like it can't be done in 1 or 2 days. It needs continuous training. We need to train our mind to be like to differentiate our mind from ourselves sometimes. So that is one thing I
Excellent. And for that, you have to learn how to step away from yourself and your mind. Good.
yeah.
Parvati,
Hi, sir. One of the takeaway for me today is that I used to like think of my mind as really complex, complicated, like too much thoughts coming together. And it is maybe after the session, I am acknowledging that it is chaotic. It is always chaotic. And it is myself, I have to take that effort to distinguish or categorize my own thoughts and feelings. It doesn't happen on its own. It takes effort. So that is one takeaway.
absolutely. Very good. Fida, I'm guessing that's your name.
Yes, sir. So the one thing that I will take away from the session will be like to think freely, like you said, like a child. Uh, and other thing is same as they said, like to observe your mind, to step outside and think what are your thoughts. That will be my takeaways.
Very difficult to do. You have to take time every day to practice. Okay, Fida?
Yes.
Okay. Pradeep, did you go? Pradeep,
Yes.
did you already share?
Yeah, I said.
Okay, okay. Atulya,
Like for me, like most of the things happening now, like it's news and in current situation, I always think that majority is right. Okay, they are saying that, so we can follow them. But so now I am thinking, yeah, there's two perspective, two side of one issue. So you need to look at that side also. I need to think critically on every social issues. That's my take. Thank you.
very important. And I'm going to say it's not just two. Atulya, there are hundreds of perspectives, but you should not feel overwhelmed. Your mind is an extraordinary instrument. It has the capacity to distinguish the good from the nonsensical, but you have to try. Okay, when you do that, you will be able to separate most of the crap out of your mind and zero in on what is really real. Fatimat,
I have already shared.
oh, you've already shared. Sorry, because I'm going by the Zoom images. Asnya, you've also shared, right? Yeah. So, Nikhil,
Hi sir. Yeah. So what has been connected to me through this session is that what Buddha and Periyar told. The same thing. We have to question everything before we accept it. So that what's going on is we one thing we have believed that and we fix on it and we're not ready to change. So that we have to think through the another perspective also. And also another thing was that you mentioned about the lottery, getting lottery. So whether it is positive or negative, in the some aspect it depends on situation whether it is positive or negative. And this is what I have taken noting of.
Don't immediately judge a thought. Thought is good or bad based on whether it corresponds to reality. Otherwise, it's a made thought. It's an artificial thought. Abid?
Hi, sir. One of the major takeaways from this session would be like, do not follow or believe anything blindly. To always do your research and ask questions. Yeah, that's my takeaway.
Excellent. Has everyone gone? Has everyone had a chance to talk? Is there anyone who is left out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for two things.
Mr. Ashok, I think
Oh, sorry.
Mushal is left out.
Yeah.
I think he can share.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, sir. If we are flooded with so much emotion, we cannot think well. And if we want to take a good decision, we need to be in the moment and think consciously. Then only we can take the good decisions.
Absolutely. Again, this goes back to separating emotions from thoughts. Okay, and remember, thought is a product. The thought comes out of a thinking process. People who don't have thinking processes, their thoughts are whatever exists in the mainstream, in the media. Okay, so those are not original thoughts. They are not your thoughts. They are thoughts that came from everyone else. If it is your own thought, it comes out of your thinking process. And that's very different from the feelings and emotions. Well, thank you. I want to appreciate the fact that all of you came on time, and two, you put on your videos, and as far as I can see, you paid attention. These are very important for any class, but particularly something like this. Thank you very much. And I believe I'm going to see you once again for another session, but I will be scheduling that with Lydia later. Thank you very much and have a good night.
Thank you so
Good
much.
night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.